If procrastination keeps winning, even though you care, this video is for you, because procrastination isn't a motivation problem, it's not a discipline problem, and it's definitely not laziness. It's what happens when your brain decides that starting feels unsafe. I know, because for years I tried everything, planning harder, pushing through, shaming myself into action, and all it did was make procrastination stronger. In this video, I'll show you what procrastination actually is, why trying harder makes it worse, and how to stop it without forcing yourself. Stay with me, because once you see what's really happening in your brain, procrastination stops feeling mysterious and starts feeling solvable. Most people think procrastination means you don't care, but think about the tasks you procrastinate on the most. They're usually the ones that matter. The important email, the meaningful project, the thing that could actually move you forward. Lazy people don't procrastinate on the things they don't care about. They just don't do them. Procrastination shows up when stakes show up. That alone should tell you something. What we call procrastination is usually a collision between pressure, expectations, uncertainty, and emotional load, not a lack of effort. And the more important the task feels, the heavier that collision becomes. Here's the loop most people get stuck in. You avoid the task, you feel guilty, you promise to do better tomorrow, you add more pressure, and when tomorrow comes, the task feels even heavier because now it's carrying yesterday's guilt as well. So you avoid again. This is not a willpower issue, it's a pressure escalation issue. This is where the science matters. When pressure builds, your nervous system shifts into protection mode. Your brain isn't asking, what's the best long-term move? It's asking, what reduces discomfort right now? Under stress, the prefrontal cortex quiets down, threat detection ramps up, decision-making narrows. Your brain becomes excellent at avoidance and terrible at initiation. That's why procrastination feels automatic. It's not a choice, it's a response. Procrastination is what happens when the cost of starting feels higher than the cost of delay. And no amount of discipline fixes that equation. Most advice tells you to just start, but starting is the very thing your brain has decided is unsafe. So when you force yourself, resistance increases, stress increases, procrastination strengthens, and when it doesn't work, you conclude something must be wrong with you. Nothing's wrong with you, by the way. You're trying to override a protective system. I lived here for a long time. I could work hard, I could sprint, I could deliver under pressure, but I couldn't make momentum repeatable. Every push required recovery, every delay carried guilt, and procrastination kept coming back stronger until I stopped trying to beat it and started trying to understand it. This is the reframe that changes everything. Procrastination is not the enemy, it's information. It's your nervous system saying something about this doesn't feel safe. That safety might be emotional, it might be cognitive, energetic, or expectation based, but until you address that, action will remain blocked. This is the foundation of the momentum reset method. We don't ask, how do I force myself to do this? We ask, what pressure is my system responding to right now? In my work, procrastination almost always comes down to one of three things: either overwhelm, too many open loops, too much mental load, no clear starting point; emotional threat, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not doing it right; identity pressure. This task says something about me. None of these are solved by effort. They're solved by regulation. When you reduce internal pressure, something surprising happens. You don't suddenly become hyper-motivated, you become available. Available to start, available to focus, available to continue. This is what real momentum feels like: calm, steady, repeatable, not dramatic, not exhausting. Here's what works instead of pushing. You regulate first, you reduce the task, you create a safe entry point. You stop asking for commitment and ask for permission. Instead of, I'm going to work on this project, you say, I'm going to open the document and change one sentence. Instead of, I need to finish this today, you say, I'll give this 10 calm minutes. Your nervous system relaxes, resistance drops, and often flow appears on its own. That's not coincidence. That is biology. Here's your simple reset when procrastination shows up. First, pause. Don't judge it. Second, ask, what feels heavy about starting this? Third, reduce. Shrink the task until it feels almost too easy. Fourth, give yourself permission to stop. Ironically, that permission is what makes continuation possible. Once you stop calling yourself lazy, procrastination loses its grip. You stop fighting yourself. You stop escalating pressure. You stop turning work into a threat. And momentum becomes something you can return to, not something you chase. If procrastination has been frustrating you, let this land. You're not lazy, you're overloaded, and overload is solvable. If you want a clear, step-by-step way to apply this, to reduce overwhelm and build momentum without panic, the momentum reset method is linked below. And if this resonated, let me know in the comments. What's the task you've been procrastinating on the most? You don't need to try harder. You need a system that works with your brain.